This is a place for crazy people. I'm not crazy.
We don't use that term crazy, Mr. Cole.
We've got some real nuts here.
Hey YouTube, so I watched that whole presidential talk thing, and I watched the reaction and the people on both sides talking about all the stuff they talk about, and I kind of figured out something. So I went back and I pulled up Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, 1848. Let's just go through them real quick. Abolish private property, heavy progressive income tax, abolish rights of inheritance, confiscation of property rights, central bank, government ownership, bank of communication and transportation, government ownership of factories and agriculture, government control of labor, corporate farms, regional planning, free education for all children in public schools. So we start talking about that, and we relate it to the America today. Abolition of private property and confiscation of property rights. Guess what happens if you get your property paid for, but you don't pay your property tax? Well, they'll take it. They also, by no means, will ever give you a loyal title, which means you own it and they can't. You're the sole owner. It's different than the fee simple title they sell you on when you're buying something. So as we go through these, it's not going to fit exactly what the Communist Manifesto says, where it says, heavy progressive income tax. No, forget that one. Confiscation of property rights. They're not going to confiscate it physically. They're going to manipulate it through their administrative law to where the outcome is the same. And if you don't see that, well, click dislike and move on. If you see it or you're interested, give a comment. So progressive income tax. Who pays 15%, 20%, 30% of their income tax? Most Americans. Abolition of rights of inheritance. Basically, if you don't make out a will, the state's taking it. You can try to go through probate and hope you get an honest judge or an honest lawyer, which, good luck. So they took care of that way. The central bank. Issuance of currency constitutionally belongs to Congress and regulating the value. We borrow our currency from the central bank at interest. So that one's been taken over. And I know that there's lots of information on that. If you need more, just follow a link I put in the description or whatever. Government ownership of communication and transportation. Drive your car without license plates for about a week and see what happens. Or try to make a TV or radio station. Heck, you can't even buy a shortwave radio and broadcast to your neighborhood without the FCC making you get a license. So I think they pretty well have that one taken care of. Government ownership of factories and agriculture. So maybe that was the ideal, but what's a practical application in today's America is government ownership of land where you can't go build a factory and agriculture. So Florida Appeals Court upholds city veggie garden ban. You cannot grow vegetables in your front yard because they think it's ugly or because it doesn't pass the covenants. So if that doesn't directly relate to where to go, there it is. Government ownership of factories and agriculture. When they tell you you can't grow a garden in your yard, then I don't know what does. What else do we have? Government control of labor. Hire an employee for your company without paperwork. Can't do it, can you? And if you do, you're in big trouble. They'll tax you and charge you and penalize you and maybe throw you in jail. Corporate farms and regional planning. Well, if you haven't looked into United Nations Agenda 21, which is now Agenda 30, you really do need to, because they are making land use in the way that the government's Agenda 21 wants land use, which basically Communist Manifesto wants land use. Recently, when the fires happened in California, they're giving those people a really hard time on not only collecting their money, but being able to rebuild. So they're claiming different things about that, and it's a bigger thing than I'm going to get into here today, but go check it out. It's interesting, or maybe not. Government control of education. Well, bill in West Virginia would ban homeschooling, treating it as child abuse. That's pretty incredible to me. There's actually going to ban homeschooling. So basically what we're looking at, in my opinion, is that we're pretty much a communist country. And it snuck in here, and it's not really going anywhere. But the way they did it was the use of language. So, you know, when our language is manipulated, our minds are changed. Communists now call themselves progressives. Socialists now call themselves conservatives. The communists seem to hate America and want it destroyed, while the socialists seem to only want to control the country through those public-private partnerships, through issuance of currency. They kind of have an incestuous relationship going on. So take a look at that, and as you listen to news and you listen to stories, when it seems like just another oppressive government regulation, I think we live in a soft communism. So, and I could be wrong. I'd like to hear comments, what you've experienced or what you believe, because obviously I don't know everything or hardly anything. Just trying to figure it out. But before I go, the other current language distortion that has snuck in, and it kind of pisses me off, is the way people are starting to use the word feel. So now really often they're saying I feel when they actually mean I think. I've heard this on TV news, I've heard it on the YouTubes. They'll say something like, I feel that is correct, or I feel like that is blue, or I feel like we should go there. When they don't feel it, they're thinking it. And I think what they've managed to do is insert that word to confuse emotion and logic. And if you confuse someone's emotion with someone's logic, guess which one wins? It's always the emotion. That's why if you're in an argument with somebody and you piss them off enough, you will win, even if you're wrong. So, something to think about. Again, this is a little longer than I hoped, but I appreciate your comments. Thank you for watching or listening. Thumbs up and thumbs down, I don't care about. If you want to sub, that's cool too. So, alright, thanks a lot.